What's going on, guys? So I am back on one of my favorite prairies here in Minnesota. I'm in central Minnesota right now. I filmed a lot of videos in the past at this prairie, literally one of my favorite places to herp. You can find bull snakes, western hognose snakes, tons of garter snakes, and there's also a few surprises that you can find up here. There's some pretty rare snakes and turtles on this prairie, but in a recent video, I sent an endoscope down rattlesnake dens. Well, here you have all of these mammal burrows, and it's in those mammal burrows that the bull snakes and the hognose snakes, they go underground and they take refuge. So in this video, I'm gonna take this endoscope and I'm gonna send it down some of these mammal burrows. So come with me and let's go roam my favorite area in Minnesota to herp, the prairies here in central Minnesota. We're gonna, again, send this endoscope down those mammal burrows. We're gonna see just what's hiding down there. I'm Dave Kaufman, and these are my Reptile Adventures. Well, who do we have here? Come here, little buddy. Come here. Are you gonna play dead now? Look at this cute little hognose snake. He was just out crossing the trail. A little male out cruising looking for those females this time of year. Usually these guys will play dead. Western hognoses, they don't really often play dead. Sometimes they do. They just kind of phone it in, as it were. They don't really commit to the lie like eastern hognoses do, but when you play with them a little bit, then they do this. All right, well, if you're gonna play dead like that, I'm just gonna check out your tail. Oh yeah, for sure, male. Look at how long that tail is. So at this age, obviously they could be male, adults, or they could be juvenile females, but that tail is super long. This is a male, and this time of year, these males will cruise great distances looking for a female out here on the prairie. And now this is early May, so this is right in the middle of their breeding season, and this guy, again, is out looking for a little loving on the prairie. But look at that. They calm right down. They'll just sit right in the palm of your hand like that. Generally speaking, this one is. And look at that pattern. The ones that we have in this area of Minnesota, very rarely do I see them with big saddles. It's always these double rows of smaller saddles like this. And this is a very typical hognose snake for what you see up here in the central Minnesota prairies. So here, let's take you over here. You were heading in this direction. I'm just gonna set you right down here and let you get on your way. And he'll just completely disappear into plain sight underneath that grass. And if you look at the scenario that I'm in, this is part of the 1% of prairie areas that are still left in the state of Minnesota. And there are tons of snakes here. Okay, look at this. Oh, I missed him. He's right in here. There's a little skink right here. Oh, no, he's over here. He's in this tuft of grass, right? Oh, no, he's over here. Come here, little skink. And gotcha. Oh, no, I didn't. Oh, yes, I did. No, I didn't. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? He's gonna find a hole and I'm gonna miss him, which is exactly what just happened. Dang it. There was a nice little skink there. Look what we've got right over here.
At Dubia.com, all the roaches are raised in-house in sterile conditions and then packed and shipped on-site directly to you. For all your Dubia needs, order today at Dubia.com or see the link in the description below.
There's a big old bull snake just stretched out, soaking up all that sun. So this is a big old bull snake, and I'm guessing by the size of him, another male out cruising out here on the prairie, looking for those females this time of year. He totally musked me, which is fine. I guess I deserve that. Oh my goodness. But what these guys will do when you pick them up like this is they will carry on like this. They will huff, they will puff, they will try to make themselves look as big and scary as possible. And that's exactly what he's doing now. But look at this. As soon as he realizes that I'm not about to devour and eat him, he calms right down. And he stops hissing, he stops carrying on. Now all he wants to do is kind of figure out what's going on. And if you noticed, when I first approached him, he was buzzing his tail. And most snakes, when they get nervous, they'll buzz their tail like that. They'll vibrate their tail. And therefore, a lot of people will mistakenly believe that these are rattlesnakes, and they will kill them because of that. As we get further out into the day, the sun is heating up and the wind is calming down. And that's when these guys are going to start cruising around, especially males like this time of year, that are going to start cruising around the prairie looking for a female to breed with. When it's super windy out, it cools their body temperature down too much, and they don't really like coming out when it's super windy. But you can see that we have a bright blue sky ahead of us. There's not a cloud in the sky, and that means that it's going to heat up the ground temperature. And this guy has a short little window in order to crawl around before it gets too hot and try to find that female. And I can feel him right now. His body temperature is really warm, so he is heating up in this sun. And as soon as this ground temperature gets too warm, he's going to retreat down one of those burrows to get out of the heat of the day. All right, little dude, good luck finding those females. I'm just gonna set you right down there, and you're gonna be on your way. Watch out for humans, dude. Look at that. I love watching snakes crawl away like that. I never tire of seeing that. All right, so up here on the prairie, this is what we're looking for. We're looking for these little holes like this that mammals make, and this is where snakes will go and take refuge. And oh my God, are you kidding me? Look right there. Oh, come here. I'm filming the hole, and right next to it is coiled this little baby western hognose snake. You gotta be kidding me. Look at this. I'm filming the hole right here. He was sitting right there. I didn't even see him. A little baby western hognose snake. Just sitting there. Oh, you're gonna play dead? You wanna play dead? All right, why don't you remain amongst the living for just a little while longer? But look at that. This is why I love this prairie. This guy probably hatched out last fall at this size, but this, again, is the typical coloration of western hognoses up here. I can't believe it. I literally found that hole, and he was sitting right there, just sunning himself like this. You never know what you're going to find up here on the prairies. You know, as you guys know, I travel the world, but this place about an hour from my front door is one of my favorite places to herp in the world, and this is exactly why. All right, so right here, you can see that there are tracks coming out of here. So some snake is using this burrow right at the base of this bush here, and I've seen a lot of snakes in this area before, so we're going to stick our camera right down this hole.
Zilla has everything you need for your reptile pets, from caging to lighting and everything in between. To see their entire catalog and find out where you can get Zilla products near you, visit zillarules.com.
So these mammal burrows out here, they don't go straight down into a chamber. We've all seen these diagrams of these straight holes that go down, go into a chamber, then there's another straight hole that comes up into another chamber. These are nothing like those diagrams. These zigzag, they make sharp curves, they go this way, they go that way, then they go into a chamber, then they zigzag around. There's a lot of obstacles underground that they have to go around, and you know, it's the path of least resistance. If they hit hard dirt, they're not going to dig there. They're going to dig through the soft dirt. So they're going to go around this way, around that way. Point is, it is really hard to get this endoscope to go down those holes. You can't really control this when it's down there. You can only control the tip of it there. That's the camera right there. It has that little light on it right there, and you can only kind of control this way or that way with it. So trying to negotiate this thing through all of those twists and turns, I'm hitting a lot of dead ends, and I'm not really seeing a lot down there, but it's not going to keep me from trying.
But first, I'm going to try another hole because I'm not leaving here without finding a bull snake underground. So as I mentioned, these holes, they twist, they turn, even looking straight down. It's really hard to get down those holes because I keep getting fouled up on all these root systems down there, but you can already tell that the soil is really moist down there. And wait a minute, what was that? Did you just see that ground move? So I'm on top of a chamber here, and something made that ground move. I'll show it again, look at this, right there. All right, so now I've got to get this camera in that chamber to see what just moved the ground like that. And there's a ton of roots down here that I just have to bully this camera through, and wait, there he is. There's a bull snake. He's sitting right in a chamber. Oh, wow, look at that. He is deep in shed. So right now, I don't know if this bull snake can actually see the camera. Certainly sees the light, but when bull snakes are in shed, especially as deep in shed as this one is, they're virtually blind through those ocular scales that turn opaque or blue like that. And that's probably why he is spending so much time underground right now in this chamber. Not only that, but it's nice and cool and humid down here. And I've always thought that when snakes go into shed, it probably feels like their entire skin is tight, kind of like when you have sunburn. So being down underground where it's nice and cool and moist like this, it's probably very relieving to the snake. But like I mentioned, these are rodent burrows. The snakes don't actually dig out these burrows, but what they do is they use that powerful rostral scale, that nose of theirs, to push dirt out of their way to make either the chambers big enough for them to get into, like this guy probably did, or to make the holes a little bit bigger so that they can fit through them and get down into these chambers like this. And you can see all around his scales, he's got that dirt impacted on his face in between his scales from where he was doing exactly that. Bull snakes are powerful diggers, and you can see the edges of this chamber around him. They're all smoothed down, and that's his doing. That wasn't done by a mammal. But like the rattlesnakes that we saw in the dens, he's now aware that the camera is there. He's not sure what's going on, but he does know something isn't right here. There shouldn't be light in his den like this. But if you notice, he's not hissing. He's not on alert as if he would be on the surface. If he was on the surface, he would rear up, he would start hissing like bull snakes do, he would go into that defense position, and underground he feels secure enough so that he doesn't feel like he is in any danger and he needs to defend himself. In the comfort of this chamber, he's relaxed and you can just see how curious he is. So right now I'm probably, I would guess, at least 2 feet underground right now, but from the looks of it, it looks like he is crammed into a space that he barely fits in. And I'm really curious if there's a bigger chamber directly behind him that we can't see. But it really doesn't look like it is. It looks like he is occupying every square inch of real estate in this underground chamber. So look at that. Even when I touch his nose with the camera, he doesn't flinch, he doesn't hiss, he doesn't show any defensive posturing. He's just staring directly into the camera, wondering what it is. And look at that, an ant crawls right across his face, and he doesn't even flinch. But here he comes out a little bit. He's not trying to escape. He's just wondering what is going on. Something isn't right. But it's not enough for him to feel like he's in danger and needs to protect himself. And when a snake has eyes that blue, he's still a good maybe week and a half away from shedding. So the chances of him leaving this chamber in the next week and a half are pretty slim. So after spending almost 2 days across a couple of weeks trying to find a bull snake down one of these holes, we finally found one, and that is almost exactly what I anticipated them doing down there. They are cramming themselves into these tiny little chambers that they barely fit in, but they feel secure. But his docile behavior down here and his lack of defensive posturing tells me that he feels more secure in this tight little chamber than he does anywhere else within his environment. So while I'm out here wandering around the prairies looking for a hole to stick my endoscope down, I just found something amazing. Have a look at this little dude. This is one of the most rare snakes that you're going to find out here on the prairie. As a matter of fact, this is the first one I have ever found out on this prairie. I've been coming up here for decades, and this is the first smooth green snake that I have ever found up here. Look at this beautiful snake. So there are 2 kinds of green snakes in the United States. There's this guy, which is more rare, more secretive. This is the smooth green snake, and then there's also the rough green snake. And if you remember, rough green snakes used to be a pet store staple. They were $20. They ate crickets. So does this guy. But, oh my God, I am completely geeking out about this snake. Look at that. My first smooth green snake up on this prairie. And this is an adult. They don't get much bigger than this, but this is one of those rare snakes in the world that actually doesn't eat mice, doesn't eat worms. This is a completely insectivorous snake out here on the prairie. And there is plenty of crickets and other things for this guy to eat out here. But again, decades of coming up here, this is the first smooth green that I've ever found up here. This is absolutely amazing. And if you look at that belly, they have a bleach white belly and just a uniform green color. When they're babies, they start out either black or tan, usually black, and then they get their adult green coloration as they grow. Wasn't expecting at all to find such an amazing snake like this. Wow. A smooth green snake. This is absolutely amazing. I didn't think that this prairie had any more surprises in it, and then there you go. So awesome. All right, little buddy. Thank you for showing yourself to us. There you go. And look at that. That's why they're very rarely seen.
they just completely disappear in plain sight. All right, see you later, little buddy. Look at that. Off he goes. And then he's completely gone, but yet he's literally right in front of me. So now that we've seen what bull snakes and hognose snakes and other critters are doing out here on the prairies in these mammal burrows, there's another species of snake found here in Minnesota that is only found in the upper Midwest, and that is the fox snake. So there's another spot in Minnesota that I absolutely love to herp, and that is this wall. Every time I come to this wall, I always see fox snakes, but I always seem to chase them into these crevices into this wall. And I've always wondered, well, where do they go? What's inside this wall? Are there chambers in there that the snakes are hanging out at? What are the snakes doing when they get inside this wall?
So I'm going to stick the endoscope in between the rocks in this wall, and look at that, right away there's a fox snake. He's only about 6 or 7, maybe 8 inches in, but we couldn't see this snake when we were standing there looking at the face of the wall. So I'm reasonably certain that the snakes are hibernating behind this wall. They can get deep enough into this natural wall into the ground to get below that frost layer. They're not only using this wall for cover and temperature control in the summertime, they're also using it to hibernate. But now, like the rattlesnakes and the bull snakes before him, oh look at this, this one is actually deep in shed as well. And this is what I was talking about. Snakes will seek out very humid, very cool places when they go into shed like this. And that's exactly what this fox snake is doing, but he's also not vibrating his tail. He's not doing that defensive behavior, but doing this is a window into how calm and gentle these snakes are when they feel comfortable, when they feel secure. This snake isn't even flicking out its tongue trying to get more information as to what's going on here, and even when I touch him with the camera, he moves a little bit, and look at that, something is going on. He has an injury on the other side of his face there. I really hope that's not a fungus, but that looks pretty nasty. So within 2 videos, we've seen 3 different species underground, and seeing their behavior when they feel secure is a testament to how naturally calm and docile snakes really are.
All right, so just for reference, that's how far down we were. That's maybe, I don't know, I'm a guy, so that's 10 inches?
I'd say 10 inches.
Yeah.
Another guy.
Yeah. So that's how far down into this wall we were. And he is just sitting there. I mean, I touched him and he didn't retreat any deeper into this wall. So I don't know how far in these crevices go, but that fox snake was that far in. So this endoscope is something that I should have bought years ago, and I wanted to and just never got around to it until now. This is the best 200 bucks that I have ever spent to just see a glimpse into what is happening undergrounds in these rock walls, to see how snakes' behavior is so much different underground where they feel secure than it is on the surface where they're really kind of afraid of everything. There's hawks, there's coyotes, there's everything that wants to eat them. But underground, they are totally calm and their behavior is completely different, and that was really incredible to see. So anyway guys, as always, thanks for watching, and until the next reptile adventure, love the planet, feed your reptile obsession, and rattle on.